I am. The aspect of doing these talks, the unseen aspect, is watching them. Several things happened for me after watching the last discourse. One thing, it was cut off right before I started really going. The you that I speak to, the you that I aim my ironies and my sarcasms at, changed. It became you who have done all this harm to the world through slavery, through hatred, through prejudice, judgment, lack of compassion, unkindness. That became so clear, that you. Sometimes the you is less directed, it's more amorphous. The other thing that happens, and happens all the time, is that I'm sort of gunky. But the other thing that happens is that I find that I am incomplete in facts. So certain things become unclear. For instance, it's unclear where my grandparents are from. They are not from the United States. They're from Barbados in the West Indies. This was another one of the British islands. The Africans brought there were just as poorly treated as any other place. Slavery and misuse of the African peoples in the West Indies was not as lengthy as it was in the United States. But it was still present. There's still bad treatment and racist behavior. But my grandparents came to the United States hoping for a better life. Not sure. Both of them had really wonderful talents that were not recognized because being black, they couldn't get any position, any job that their talents, if they were white, would give them. So my grandmother ended up being a housekeeper or menial house cleaner, and my grandfather ended up working in the subway system. It was my grandmother working, not happy with the way my throat is feeling. It's very funky and it's affecting this talk. So it was an inspiration to my grandmother to tell my mother that she will never work. She will never clean white people's floors And my mother took that to heart. And she said that over and over and over as one of the main impetuses to her becoming a member of the symphonies and following through on her art and music. To those of you who find this laughable and stupid and strange and false and ridiculous, I would love if you would come to me face to face and say that, because I have a voice that would injure you. So I get pretty pissed off about it because it has not stopped. The internet, this device, this way, has allowed people to be even more prejudiced and judgmental because the only thing they really experience is imagery. People would say, and here's the case, you are receiving my words, you are receiving what I say, you are seeing me, but you don't receive my energy, really. The energy does not go through the camera, really. If you were here face to face with me, you would receive the energy that I am expressing. That includes our music. It is almost impossible to transmit the expression of our music through a device like a camera or recording equipment. We try and we make CDs, but that does not transmit it because we're using the three main energy centers, let us call them. Dancing, and in the dance is the rhythm, an instrument, non-electric. Because an electric instrument can be piped into a device like a recording equipment, and it can receive in a certain somewhat clear condition the energy of that performance. Thus, most people play electric instruments now and are singing, which could be done through a microphone, but when it's not through a microphone, then it is true vibration. So everything is pure vibration. To be in the presence of it is to be in the presence of honest, true vibration. Not fully expressed through electronics. And that is the weakness of the internet. Because of that weakness, people are used to everything being dumbed down. That dumbing down creates a dumbed down aesthetic, a dumbed down critical nature, a dumbed down compassionate center, a dumbed down expressive center, a dumbed down being. So again, when I refer to myself as a Twoman being, I am referring to myself as a being who fully receives energy, who fully expresses energy from my being, not through a device, not through the slaves of electrons, but through me. Every vibration is caused by me. You don't do that anymore. The use of this device presently could be said to be erroneous in what I am talking about, because I am using this discourse. Why use this tool then? And again, it is for me that I do it, because I'm present with my energy. I know what I'm doing, but you have no idea. The other, and I can call them corrections, but I can also call them points of departure, points of discourse, points of more expression. The other statement I made, that I want to increase my dialectic into. Slavery was not the only reason for the prosperity of the United States. It is one of the reasons. However, it is the most neglected of the reasons. We had a friend who, through his involvement with computers and their newness, was able to take major advantage of what occurred with computers and made a lot of money through it. That is prosperity through the gift of being there at the right time. However, everything that placed the United States in the position to build computers, to make all these extraordinary tools of digital and electronic expression, or was created because the country received and was in a very stimulated state from its growing prosperity because of slavery. This is something that most white people will not allow in the understanding of why the United States is such a prosperous and such a world-leading country. And it's important. Being in this land of Bali, where karma is so important to them, it is the karma of having misused a race of people for prosperous and for material gain that is karmically disastrous. I don't believe that karma has shown up for the United States yet. For those of you who mock karma, who speak in a Christian tongue, who consider karma and the notion of karma to be an illusion, I say to you that karma is quite clearly shown by me, in that I have worked out my entire life And I at 70 am fitter than almost all the people I know who are from 70 down to 50. That's because they did not work out all their life. They worked out in spurts. They worked out as trendiness, but I did not. I don't know why I was so compelled to work out the way I have. I really, really love looking at the animals. They just go about doing their thing. The bird flutters down and lands on that branch. The snails were eating the offerings. They were having a really good time slithering around the offerings. Rain just passed over. It was light, but it was very misty, and when I went on my walk, it was very moody out. I was very moody. So I guess in looking at my videos in the future, from now, and look at this, and I try not to perceive it in a critical light, but in a opportunity. There's an opportunity to continue talking about a certain thing and digressing from that into wonderful thoughts and ideas. In social environments, I rarely talk. I find it difficult to keep up with the competition, the competitive talk over you, talk louder, talk more than you behavior that occurs in social environments. People rarely know how to listen to anything. They'll listen to their phone, but that's because it's offering them some ear candy, something that has taken their attention because of its materialistic offering. Because I would say that almost all the internet offers now, not in the past, this has changed, but now is materialistic mirages. And those materialistic mirages are meant to gather people towards some sort of subscription that somebody behind that subscription then can make a lot of money. I am not doing that. You can be guaranteed that there is nothing about this that is about me trying to gain materially. I, in fact, am different from the sweetie that way. She's a lot more focused into that. I, however, don't like to pay to pray. That is one of my statements. So one of the things that I don't appreciate is I don't appreciate transporting myself a long distance away and then doing my ceremony and preformance in a space and then transporting myself away from that space. Because and not having anything there to recompense me for the energy I placed in that space, that I don't like. I have done that many, many times, and I don't like it. For most of you, you couldn't care less. You think I should transport myself a long distance to a space and preform there, and then transport myself back without recompense. I don't agree. I'd rather go into my yard and preform in my little yard temple to nobody, to the butterflies, to the sky, to the palm trees, the frangipanis, because they do receive my energy and they do grow through it. But when I go to a venue and place that energy in the venue, and the venue itself is not respectful of that energy that was placed there through recompense, then I don't want to do that anymore. So I stop. I have such a love-hate relationship with the internet, computers, and phones. And I will digress, be redundant in my difficulty with them. All of you adore them. Most of you sit around the table with your phones in social organizations, and you're all looking at the phones and no longer talking to each other. That's because you love your phone so much. You're getting more information in your phone than you are by talking to each other. I don't have a phone. I hope that I never have a phone and that I die without having had a phone. I have a talent with computers. I learned of this talent a long time ago when I was in college, and at that time, many of you would not know that computers were programmed using cards. And so you would have to print out these cards that were then placed in the machine, and then it was received the program. 64 kilobytes was a lot. I was really talented with it. My teacher, I was so talented that of all the people in the class, he gave me his personal password to get on his machine so I could practice. That was the bifurcation that I had between becoming the artist that I am or a computer programmer. One led to riches beyond, the other led to begging. I say begging because, and I could say busking, or I could say artist, but I think that fits better for you, because I think you think of me as a beggar. So I don't mind. Some of the most wondrous beings in the world, in the history of the world, were beggars. Some who I honor and love immensely and learned much from. In that computer class, when I was just exploding with excitement over doing this programming and learning how to program and how to use computer languages to do all sorts of wondrous things that were new in the world, my teacher was also very similar to me. He was a musician, a pianist, capable of playing Rachmaninoff. For those of you who have no idea who Rachmaninoff was, I want to say go look him up. But also I want to say he was a wonderful pianist. A wondrous melodies and just beautiful. I think some of his melodies are very famous in the world. I think you probably hear them in advertising media now. But he was a good pianist. That to say he was a good pianist. And he was also a computer programmer. And he was teaching me. One day I was really undecided about programming and my music. I was playing in the symphony and I was also doing this programming and showing great talent, and he was very much seeing this in me. And I said, I don't know if I want to continue with my music or become a computer programmer. I really like this, but I like my music too. He said, I have always regretted not following through with my piano. One of the things I know for a fact is that with computers, you will always be able to return. You will always be able to use your skills with computers. But if you lose your skill with the violin, you can never recover it. Once you're too old, you never will come back. It was because of this talk with this teacher that I continued with my violin, and I didn't let computers go because I still work on computers. I still do my programming and fiddle with it and offer people my help when I have the opportunity, but I still play the violin, and boy, is it better than computers. To be able to sing and play the violin and not have to listen for music on Spotify or some other AI music that you guys love so much. I can play music, I can do it whenever I want to. I can express from my heart, and this music goes into me energetically in a way that nothing can. I so honor him and thank him for leading me in the way and offering me the advice when that was really important.